Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Dame Certified 3. Before we get started, if y'all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below, and please hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this one. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Dame Certified 3 features like this line traction pattern. And yeah, when it comes to traction on this shoe, I don't know, it's something. If you're playing on really clean courts, you're not gonna have any issues. The bite is actually very, very nice on clean courts. But the problem is when you expose this to any type of dust, you are going to have a bad time. Like, I have played in this shoe for a while now, and I've played this across all types of court conditions, mildly dusty, really dusty, and like as clean as I could possibly get. And the traction on here is just not good. Like, once dust touches this outsole, you are going to be sliding around. So the traction on here is so bad that you will actually slide out completely. There was one time where I slid out. Like, I was literally just going for like a small little stop, I guess, and it was like a lateral stop, and my foot slipped out. So my rear foot, my knee on the, like my rear leg, I guess, slammed into the ground, and that really hurt. And yeah, I mean, this traction, I would say, is almost dangerous if there's any sort of dust present. And the thing about it is, even if you wipe, you might have good traction for like, I don't know, 20 seconds maybe. But once the traction starts collecting a little bit of dust, you know, it gets really bad. And even then, like, sometimes it doesn't even take that long. It's just like maybe how this rubber compound interacts with dust. But yeah, traction on any sort of dust on here is just not good. You will slide to a stop most of the time, if not slip out. So just keep that in mind. But hey, if you're playing on clean courts, you won't have any issues. So moving on to the cushion, the Dame Certified 3 features a full-length bounce foam, and you know, bounce has been used in like Adidas's like budget line models for the longest time now. And it's honestly a pretty good foam, especially for the price. Obviously, there are pros and cons to it, but overall, I mean, I would say cushion setup is actually pretty nice for the price. Like, in the heel, you do get a good amount of impact protection. You do get this nice thick chunk of bounce in the heel. And in the forefoot, you do get a little bit of bounce as well, and a little bit of that impact protection. Obviously not as much in the forefoot area because it is caged by this rubber as well. But you know, for the most part, I would say impact protection as a whole is pretty decent. The problem with bounce is because it's so thick, you're gonna lose out on a lot of court feel and responsiveness. But on top of that, it is a very dense foam, so it does make the shoe feel pretty bottom heavy. And that's saying something because I think the materials on this shoe are like pretty thick and heavy as well. But yeah, I mean, the foam just, it does make this feel like a very bottom heavy shoe. But overall, from a just strictly cushioning standpoint, I think bounce is fine. And I actually kind of like how the bounce feels in the Dame Certified 3. So moving on to the materials, the Dame Certified 3 features a couple of different materials. The base layer of this is a mesh, and I would definitely say it is not a great feeling mesh. It is very, very stiff. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like great to the touch or anything like that. But in terms of performance, materials get the job done very well. I didn't have any issues when it comes to performance. On top of the mesh, you do have like these layers of synthetic leather, and it does the job. Like, it gives, you know, extra durability, gives this shoe a little bit more structure. So yeah, I mean, I can't really complain about the materials too much. It does feel a little bit cumbersome because these are like pretty thick and heavy materials. But yeah, I mean, it does get the job done pretty damn well. Moving towards the tongue, you do have like this mesh tongue, and I would say this is like actually pretty thin, but I didn't really have any irritation on the top of my foot when I cranked down my laces. So I think you all should be okay there. One thing I don't like about this tongue though is that it is not connected. You know, most shoes nowadays will at least have like a half booty upper, which does connect the tongue on the sides, but this one, it doesn't. And it does get a little annoying, I should say, because this tends to like fold over itself, like especially like right here on the inside of the shoe. So you do have to kind of go in and like fix it, spread it out. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to be a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, overall, from a material standpoint, like, yeah, it doesn't feel the best, but it does get the job done in terms of performance just fine. So moving on to the fit, I would say that the Dame Certified 3 does run true to size. Lengthwise, they felt perfectly fine. Widthwise, it actually felt pretty good for me as well. Maybe just a slight, very, very slight bit of pressure up in the forefoot area as a slightly wide footer. But I think, you know, I think going true to size is the best bet for normal footers, narrow footers, and slightly wide footers. If you have really wide feet, maybe go up a half size, but you'll definitely have some other issues if you do that. But besides that, you know, the fit overall was good. I didn't really have like too much dead space up the toe box area. You know, like I mentioned earlier, this tongue is not a half booty upper, so it is completely separated, and the fit can be a little hindered from that just because the tongue can like kind of slide around a little bit and also like fold over itself, which is just like more annoying than anything. But yeah, I mean, overall, I would say that the fit is good. Yeah, true to size is the way to go. So moving on to the support, I did have some support issues in the Dame Certified 3. This does have an external heel counter, which does give the heel a lot of structure, but I did have heel slippage in the shoe. I wouldn't say I could like feel my heel slip completely out, but there's definitely like quite a bit of movement when it comes to the heel, and that just sucks. But as far as everything else, I thought, you know, the support was good. I didn't have any side-to-side movement on the footbed. I think the materials do a great job of making sure your foot is nice and planted. When it comes to hard lateral movements, you're gonna be covered there as well. This is a pretty damn wide base, and this rubber does actually protrude to form an actual outrigger, so you're gonna be covered there. And then when it comes to torsional rigidity and stability, like this thing is pretty damn stiff. I'm not sure if there is a shank plate in here or not, but whatever they did, like this thing is very, very stiff and rigid. So yeah, I mean, like, look at that. Yeah, I mean, support in here would have actually been very, very good had I not had that heel slippage issue. So the Dame Certified 3 retails for $85, I believe. And for that price point, I mean, I can't recommend it just because, first of all, you know, I have heel slippage in the shoe. It kind of makes it unplayable for me. I just don't like having that feeling. Obviously, and it could lead to injuries because the shoe's not staying on correctly, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But the biggest issue for me is the traction, right? Like, most of us are playing on our typical gym courts, whether it's a LA Fitness, 24 Hour Fitness, Lifetime, you know, whatever. And those courts are never like completely clean. There's always going to be some sort of dust on there, right? And this thing just does not play well in dust. Like, you will be sliding around, you might be slipping out completely, and that's just not great. Like, traction is the foundation of the shoe. If you don't have a good foundation, you don't have a good shoe. You might have good traction outdoors. I honestly don't know. I did not play with these outdoors. If you have, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know if the traction was good or not, because for my experience, just playing on indoor courts, traction was not good, so I really can't recommend this. But yeah, I mean, if y'all want to pick up a pair of these, I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this performance review. If y'all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. Also, please hit that thumbs up button for me, leave a comment, it really does help me out. Check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time.